So, hello everybody. Good evening. Welcome. Important stuff today. Now, you know me in TJR, and I'll be speaking directly to TJR as well. But I want to explain what's going on. Now, me and TJR, we have history going on. You know, some of the things he says, I think's absolute crap. But you know, now and again, the man's not an idiot. He knows what he's talking about, but he's so fucking vain. He's such a bloody, narcissist that, sometimes you've got to call him out for it. And that's what I'm doing, TJR, if you're listening. But I mean, your video the other day, it struck a chord. I mean, I know for one that Mr. Mayo watched it and he was very intrigued. Hello, Mr. Eminem. I want to talk to you in a little bit. Stay tuned. Now, he going on about Brian Wilson, and I never knew about this, but I think you should. I think you should all know because it was an outrage. They wheeled up. This is how fucking bad it's getting now. They wheeled up Brian Wilson as a corpse, and then tried to sell it to the public that he was on there singing and playing the piano and God knows what. Fucking doing a cartwheel. He wasn't doing none of it. He was a dead man. He was at the stage like, and there's but now you've been too nice to him, TJ, because he ain't got a fucking right. And what about his family members? Why didn't they stop him? I'll tell you why. Because they thought, let the old cunt get up there for 2 hours, and we've made a fucking £200,000 for the fucking night. That's what it's all about, ripping you cunts off. And it's not. And they didn't mention once Paul McCartney or Ringo Starr. They're well past their best. They can't fucking hack it anymore. You're not seeing a good gig. You're seeing a bunch of crap. And I'd even say that for the Rolling Stones. They're not singing live anymore. They've got background shit that they're just miming along to it. All you're seeing is like an old man trying to act like a monkey on the stage. And, we all want to see Mick Jagger. The Stones had such presence on stage. You get all that bollocks. It's absolute shit. Don't pay money for these cunts anymore. Start looking for some new bands, or at least ones that are looking a bit more sexy. And how many times I've told you, hello, Mick. How many times have I told you? Anyway, you have to excuse me for a minute because my little daughter, she wants to talk to me. She wants to say hello and everything. Yes, she wants to sit down, darling. Yes, you do. Yes, you want to sit down with me. I was so angry about it. Yes, I know. You're going to have to go over there in a minute, Molly. Yes, you will. Molly, it's Humit. That's it. You're Humit. Let me see the camera. That's it. Yes. So anyway, let's read a couple of questions because I've got. Thank you very much. So, Tommy, hi Tom, how you doing? Hang on, I'm trying to read these questions, but I can't zoom in. There's a good girl. That's a good girl. Yes. I've got to give them rights of passage because they're. Yes, I know. I love you. Yes. All right. Oh, yeah, we're all waiting. And Tom, actually, while I'm here, we got. Oh no, Record Crate! Look, hey, Record Crate. So, if I wasn't subscribed to you, I am subscribed to you now. Penny's over here. Look. Yeah, but Humit and Penny do not get on. I can tell you that, but she hates her, and you know why? My wife thinks it's because she's black. And the other two are white, and they give her a hard time. It's not, and I'm not having that because we don't have racism in this house. We do not. No. Swimmingly, yeah. Oh, that's all good. That's all. There's enough of this private conversation. We've got serious shit to talk about here. Please, Record Crate, enough. Yeah, Mr. Evans, stop it. This is important. It involves. This is what's triggered it all off, Mr. Eminem. It was your favourite bloody artist in the world, Mr. Dead, Dr. Death. I mean, it was horrific. How can anybody, in fact, how can anybody be stupid enough to go to a gig when when they know the man is like half dead anyway? He's mentally dead anyway, isn't he? So how's he going to play a piano? How's he even going to lift a bottle of Stella by himself? I mean, it must be awkward in the morning when he wants to toss off, isn't it? Hey, oh, you couldn't take that away from me. You couldn't. Oh, the early morning glory. Anyway, listen, Tom, I've got something to tell you. Look, we need a big player like you because there's been dirty shenanigans going on behind your back. And, you know, I'll respect you and everything. I might not respect Tom Womack, but, you know, I do respect you. And we're going to try and do our own Talk More Talk. Is it what night is it? Thursday? Was it Thursday night? The Halloween special. Hang on a minute. No, it can't be. No, it'd be Friday night, wouldn't it? Friday night is the Halloween special when we're going to bring John Lennon back from the dead and ask him about what he reckons about everything, music, who he likes, who he doesn't like, what he thinks about yoga, everything. You know, hidden songs that he's got. You know, like do you remember? Was it Sixth Sense with John McClane in it? You know, from Die Hard, and he's got this little boy, and he's a bit of a cretin, and it turns out that John McClane is dead all the way through it. It's riveting stuff. So it's a bit like that. Anyway, let's have a look at these questions. Good. Hi, Tom. Yeah. Mr. Eminem, listen, we've got two important things to do. I'm going to tell you because I haven't got your email, and I'm going to tell Tom as well because I don't want you to think we're up against you. Because I said, well, if it's a success, it'll be a massive success. If it all goes like that fucking fiasco the other night that went on for 6 hours, well, I mean, it'll go down in history as Last of the Mohicans or something. My God, it was terrible. It was terrible. But anyway, I mean, you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? I mean, when you and the Talk More Talk people all got together for the first time, I bet you was all like scratching your heads and saying, "Oh, what am I going to say? I wasn't expecting this question." Well, don't expect no questions when we do it because it's just going to be. Well, it's not going to be as fucking mad as it was the other night. There'll have to be some order. We've got to talk about things, so we've got to ask questions to each other, and we can't have Record Crate serving people backwards and forwards because this is an important conversation. So turn up, Record Crate, by all means, but close the shop for the evening because this is important stuff. And if we're good at this, we could break the internet, or at least get about 25 people to be watching us. But it'll all change after that. It will. But what I was thinking, and I'm going to tell you, Mr. Eminem. So I've told you, Tom, what the beef is. Now you're most welcome to turn up. I've got to get an official time now because if it was 8 o'clock in the United Kingdom, what time would it be in Mr. Eminem's neighborhood? Because I don't know where the fuck he lives. It could be Colorado. It could be Seattle. It could be. I'm trying to think of another American town. Where's that place where Happy Days took place? Milwaukee, which sounds like a joke town. Or even, you know, he could be living in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Dallas, Texas. But anyway, look. So you work out what the fucking time is after 8 o'clock in the UK. Hang on a minute. Let me work this out because I've got another problem. I'm just thinking here for a minute. So bear with me, people. 8 o'clock in the yeah, 8 o'clock in the UK. So, yeah, 8 o'clock in the UK. So, work out what. Oh, Texas. Oh, hey, is it true that they've only got steers and queers. Oh, I've forgotten the quote. I've forgotten the quote. Anyway, never mind. It's 12 p.m. Well, Arizona. Look, Tom, that's perfect because you'll be there. You'll be there. Well, there you go. See, look, you lot have got to work that out. But bear in mind that Mr. Eminem is like he's in charge of all the new technology because I don't know how to do this, like getting four heads all talking to each other. So he's got to do it. He's got to start it off. So make sure, Mr. Eminem, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, you get yourself tuned in, and then I should tune in, and then what we're going to do after that is we're going to let other people come in. Maybe Record Crate, maybe Tom. Who knows? Maybe Mr. Eminem, maybe even TJR want to reply to this. I mean, we've got to have it out. Me and him, we've got to have it out in public, probably. So anybody really can turn up. But if you've got nothing to say, you're going to get switched off right away. Not me and Mr. Eminem, though, because like we're in charge of this business. We are. So we want the talk to keep flowing, and because otherwise we're fucked, aren't we? We're fucked. So I was thinking, and in fact, because I am the president of the Vinyl Nerd Association worldwide, I've got to tell you that what we will be discussing is why is Paul McCartney such a prick, and also what has Ringo ever done in the last 30 years to deserve living off the back of the Beatles? And also, let's talk about Caitlin's trip to the United Kingdom. The horror. Yeah. And we're also talking about other things, and we could talk about more random things. But don't you worry, because it's got to be fast and furious. I'm telling you. And we're going to be talking a lot about artists, former musicians that shouldn't be fucking even getting out of bed, or they're, out of the front door of Bridlington Court or whatever other home they put these old fuckers into. Yes. I know. I feel the same way as you, Humit. Do you know what? She loves Taylor Swift, though. She loves Taylor Swift. Don't you? I don't know why, because she's such a little bitch. Yeah, she's younger than my daughter, in fact. Melanie. All right, so let's read some of these. Please. All right. Retreat. From living in Texas. You're supposed to work that out. Get a world clock. You're supposed to be the technical whiz kid round here, Mr. M. I think we're doing it tomorrow night. This is going to be a serious chat, but the night after, which is Friday, it'll be Halloween. So we're going to try and bring John back from the dead on that very night, live on TV. And who wouldn't want to see John Lennon on his 79th year saying hello to the people? It's about time we got in touch with him again. After the other night, I was so excited. My body was possessed by Lennon. It was great. It was great. I've still got his cap now. Yeah. And I've got something to tell you about the album Mind Games. What a shit album cover that is. I saw it again today because, I'm a bit obsessed with Father and Son at the moment. Tom, have you seen Father and Son? They're unbelievable. I mean, they've just got into the Beatles recently by the sound of it, but previously they like to spend their weekend lynching black people with white hood over their head. But I mean, who am I to judge? Two in your no, see, Tom's worked it out for you. Tom, he's fucking in charge of this. He's the leader of the gang on this one. I can't do this unless Mr. Eminem turns up on time. He doesn't even fucking know the time he's supposed to be there. So, Mr. Eminem, you got to be there. yeah, you got to be there at 12 o'clock by sounds of it. Midnight. Midnight. That'd be even better though, because come the Halloween special, come Friday night, that means you'll be on the midnight hour, Tom's Midnight Garden, doing, doing, Funky Phantom Ghost, whoa, the spirit of 76. Hey, old Funky Phantom, he had a ghost cat, didn't he? He was a rebel. So, I mean, I love cats, but I don't like rebels, so I would have had to give him a bit of a red coat bullet. Stick that up your ass, Patrick Henry. Anyway, do you know what? I've got something to tell you. If you like all this American Revolution, and nobody fucking does, really, it's boring. But I was in America, and I was arguing all the time. I said, hey. I said, what's all this fucking talk about massacres? Let's start talking about a Boston massacre. How many people died? A black man grazed his knee. And you think, fucking hell, this is propaganda at its worst. But what the British did, they taxed the wrong people. They put like halfpenny tax on tea and card games, like and newspapers or something. Of course, it's fucked off all the wrong people. That was a dumb thing to do. But I should have just turned around and said, look, we just paid for a war for you cunts. And you'd all be speaking French if it wasn't for us, or you'd have a tomahawk in your head. But, oh, no, we don't want to pay for fuck all because we just like, earning money and fuck you lot. No, you've got to pay your bills, mate. You've got to pay your bills. Anyway, so, yeah, you're there at midnight. I'll be there at 8 o'clock. And you, Tom, you're most welcome. And we would love to have you there. We'd be honoured to have you there. I'd also be honoured to have Melinda there because and then I could try and give her some talk, some invisible Ray talk. She's a gorgeous babe, and I know once she gets to know me a little bit better, she will find me irresistible because it's the man, it's the mystery behind the man. I mean, who knows what's behind him, Melinda? Who knows? An invisible man sleeping in your bed. Oh, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters! Hello. Anyway, look, right, enough of this. David Cassidy, Doc Chalonsky. What's the oranges of the name Hunyadi? Now, let me guess here. I think the name is Eastern European. Am I right? Could be, because it don't sound Italian. It's not Spanish. It's not Portuguese. It's not French. I don't think it's French. So I'm thinking more to the east, to the Russian side of things. Could be Polish. Could be, who knows? Who knows? What is it, Tom? Not from yeah. None of us are familiar with StreamYard, but basically, Mr. Eminem, he gives us all a link. He introduces the show at midnight. He gives me a link, then I press the link. Then whoever wants to press the link can press the link. And then after that, Mr. Eminem decides if it's worth taking that person and letting him be on the screen, or or when it's time to cut that man off of the screen, cut that man off of the screen. Well, anyway, look, Record Crate, don't tell him about all that business. You don't need to know because he's going to be a guest on this thing. He's got his own setup for this split screen thing. I don't know what it is, but it's what he does. Hungarian, see, I was close. I'm going, oh, by the way, Doc, oh, no, Doc's saying, Tom's saying it's Hungarian. Hungarian. Can I tell you something, Tom? Because you'll get on well with my wife, Mavis, because she's not Hungarian, but she's Romanian from origins. And she's not a Romanian pickpocket before you are. She's a trained barrister, by the way. Very intelligent woman, very gorgeous woman. She's not with me tonight because she's at an award ceremony. And I haven't been invited because last time, apparently, a woman got groped at the bar. And they said, where's your husband? And she said, I don't know because he's invisible. Of course, they all accused me. I might have been in the toilet at the time. I might have been because I think I was snorting cocaine. But anyway, look, enough of that. Let me see. So yeah. Focus. Oh, well, do you know what? I knew a woman. I was working at the, well, I think they call it the Department of Health and Pensions now, but it was called the Department of Health and Social Security when I worked there. I had to do an administration job before I joined the Navy, and I don't know, I did a year and a half there or something. And basically, it's giving benefits and working out tax for the normal people and giving out checks for the wasters of society. And man, you would not believe the sort of people we just got in there, and they'd always get violent as well. They'd bash in the window and I want that money. We had a bunch of Irish people turned up in a coach called the Battle Bus, and they all come charging in wanting money. And we said, well, we haven't got any money for you because you know fixed abode. You've got to come in at 9 o'clock in the morning. One guy turned up as an SS officer, and I just thought, what kind of people are we dealing with here? They're just running around and they're taking money off the state. I don't want to sound like a right wing bastard, like father and son, but you know what I mean? I am turning a bit right wing in my old age because I begrudge, because I've always worked all through my life. You know what I mean? Invisible, visible, um, married or unmarried. I've always worked, you know, and it's just because I know I feel better that way. I don't. What's going on there? What's messages help Mr. Tom to describe to me and get notified. Here we go. Look. There's a message for you, Miss. I don't know why it was held back, but there you go. I've got no censorship on my channel, but the powers that have be that control this have got censorship, so we got to be a little bit careful. But I can still say what I damn well please about anyone I damn well please. They can't really stop me. And you as well, Mr. Eminem, and I'd like to hear your opinion about this outrageous Brian Wilson gig. I mean, Tom, have you seen the video from TJR yet? I mean, like I said, it was horrific. It was horrific, and they kept making excuses for him. Now they all, oh, I don't want to say this. I don't. No, say it. Fucking say it, because these cunts are ripping us off. And you know, it's because we're so fucking brainwashed now. We're not even dealing with this. You're not saying. Do you know when was the last time you went to a gig and said that was fucking brilliant? You know, it's probably a long time ago, wasn't it? Who's that band that bloody Matthew Street keeps going on about? Docus. Come here, you. Come here. What are they called? I don't know. It's a Canadian band, I think. Oh, I know everybody tries to not to watch him anymore. It's not the Kinks, not the Kinks. It's like it's a band that no one's ever heard of. It's a new band. Um, we're gonna end up like Morris. Hello, Mr. Blood Vessel. I love Morrissey. I think he got something to say. He got something to say. And just when everybody was saying, "Oh, let's be Remainers," and he said, "No, let's just get out of Europe." Good, good for Morrissey. He says the right thing. He don't give a shit. You shouldn't give a shit. Nobody should give a shit in this day and age. But people's lives are being destroyed by this fucking political correctness. Uh, the tragically hip enough. Yeah. Anyway, look, listen, Tom. I know you try not to watch him anymore, and I'm the same. But sometimes you get a little, you know, you get something up, and you think, well, I'll check it out, because there's been so much going on with this vinyl community recently. You kind of lose touch about things. I haven't been able to see all of Mr. Mayo's and all of Mr. Eminem because he's been constantly doing this streaming shit. And who else? You know, there's a lot of Matthew Street and Fit to Be Told. I haven't got time for him at the moment. But yeah, because I've other people like Father and Son and track by track, Cake X Cake. And I mean, even Rob Walker, I haven't had a lot of time for him. You know, I love the man. But there you go. David Jackson. Oh, you saw Brian Wilson. He go- read David Jackson. You see, there's people. You see, people are paying to see him. Did you know David Jackson that he was going to be a corpse when he turned up to the gig? I bet you bloody didn't. I bet you thought he's just going to sing. God only knows what I feel about you. Or what he should do is get Posture X up there and do his Beach Boy thing. I love anything tonight. And Posture X is a fat fucker, and look at him go. I mean, there's no stopping the man. Multi instrumentalist, brilliant, brilliant. They should get him up there. I'd pay good money to see Posture X. Fuck Brian Wilson and Al Jardine. Honestly, you're going to see. You know, my mate, he was really into black music, even more than me. And he always wanted to go and see the Temptations or the Four Tops. Uh, and anyway, like every time they turned up, there was like just one member from the original, not even an important member, and all the other members have been replaced, but it's still called the Temptations. So everybody's going to turn up to see them. Now, TJR Robert was saying about Brian Wilson, oh, maybe you should just turn up and introduce the show. Somebody else does the singing. No, well, you don't fucking turn up to a gig and say, oh, by the way, this is going to be introduced by a bloke who used to sing, and you're just going to listen to some other bunch of cunts who you've never heard of. No, 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 no. That's not the way it goes. If I want to see up fucking Susanna Hoff's skirt, I'll pay money to see that cunt. Yeah, that cunt, literally. I want to see up her skirt, not some other bird's skirt. You know, that's what I paid my money for. Anyway, let's read some of these questions. Oh, record. Yeah, did you sell any Patsy Cline? $300 to sign other artists? That what? Hang on. I'm lost here. I'm lost. I was at the races. What? The Bladen races? Oh, oh. Oh, do you know what though? I mean, Mike Love was the baldy one, wasn't he? I seem to remember Mike Love was a bit baldy, and the others were a bit porky. And Dennis was handsome, but he was, and the only one that could surf, of course. I don't know that much about him because, do you know, I don't know a lot about a lot of groups. You know, if you said to me about the Eagles, right, I could probably tell you one member of the Eagles. I could tell you Blondie was in Blondie, but I couldn't tell you the other band members now because I'm not fucking interested. So, do you know what the funniest thing was? You know, lots of different people have played Frankenstein from the golden age of cinema. Lon Chaney and a couple of other people, Boris Karloff, of course. And anyway, some people was put in the same equation to Jason Voorhees, and they were saying, "Oh, yes, well, he was played by a different." But I said, "That's not. That's just a fucking bloke. They've said a tall bloke. They've said put a fucking mask on and hold a knife. That's all he got to do. It's not about performance, is it? It's about stabbing the neck. That's it. That's that. You know. So it's fucking irrelevant." Uh, I don't. Hang on, I've got to read this. Who's talking about the Hollies? I will not have Hollies talk on this channel, and that goes for you, Mr. Eminem. They're bullshit. Oh, I will see. Well, I wouldn't even go and see the Hollies if they was all alive. Well, all around, you know, in the same band. I'm out of Patsy. Yeah, you want to get some Patsy Cline in, and I'm going to make a reply video about this as well because I think it's disgraceful when a man's not stocking Patsy Cline. Person comes in, what are you after, love? Patsy Cline. I'm sorry. No, I said that joke the other day, didn't I? But yeah, I liked it at the time, so I would say it again. Hi, Rob. How are you? Oh, Rob. Rob, hiya. I'm just putting up David Jackson. Mike loves a twat. He now sings. He comes. Oh dear. Yeah, I bet David Jackson, though, you haven't heard Murder till you've heard Money, That's What I Want by Richard Starkey. Fucking hell, what a joke. I've got to talk about that album as well. It's a disgrace when you're putting out product like that. Well, and I heard it on Doc Docus's the other day, and it was fucking awful. I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, it's good. It's actually listened to it a couple of times. No, it ain't fucking good. It's shit. It's shit. Has it got the best producers, the best writers involved? No. The best musicians? No. It's just got a bunch of old turds who can't fucking, floating for the nearest atoll. Oh, save me, I'm drowning. That's what it is. It's a bunch of crappy old shitheads. And if we'll stick together, we might be able to sell some tickets. Who wants to see this Joe Walsh? Who the fuck is he? Ugh. Uh, Money is terrible. Yeah, money is the root of all evil. But Ringo's money is even worse, and that's what it boils down to. I mean, Ringo just said, "Oh yeah, we can make a lot of money, but this time, what I'm going to do to try and sell a few more copies is I'll try and get into people's heartstrings about grow old with me." Now, John Lennon never said on record anywhere that he's got that song for Ringo. Did he fuck say that? As even Mr. Mayo agreed with that. Like where did this come from? He just fucking made it up. Oh, I was a Beatle once, so I can fucking help myself to the back catalogue. No, mate, you can't. What you're trying to do is sell music for people's sadness and sympathy about John and releasing it at a time of year where people get a bit emotional about John, and then saying, "Oh, Paul McCartney's on my song," when he probably, as I said, another joke I said the other night was he's he's got what was it? Nobody can hear his voice, and I said that's because Ringo couldn't afford all of Paul McCartney there, so he just gets half of Paul McCartney there. Uh, I mean, and what was it? The George, apparently they're doing that dreadful, and I hated that. You know, all these albums are. I hated that George Harrison guitar, that slide guitar. It's so it's just so it's like the saxophones on the 70s albums. You think, oh, give it a rest. Now I love all kind of musical instruments, but they're just lazy the way they did it. I mean, Wings on Venus and Mars, and a lot of George Harrison albums, they use saxophone for some reason all the time, and it never worked out. And you hear a good saxophone player get going, and it's fantastic. It is fantastic. Anyway, look, I've got. Yeah, I saw that, and what? No, but this is bad because Paul McCartney, and this is what we're going to be talking about. This sort of bullshit, Paul McCartney. Oh, I'm just going to draw a shit. I'm going to get a professional artist to draw. I mean, Fergie's done this. All kind of wankers in the past have done this. When they're at the top of their game, people come up to them and say, "Look, do you want to make a little bit more money and make me some money as well? I'll draw a bunch of pictures of you, and then we can release a book." You know, this book, it's not David Copperfield, it's a bunch of crap. And you see him doing his dough face, "Ooh, and Grandpa said," and you think, oh, I want to fucking bang your fucking head in, you cunt. Anyway, don't want to get too angry. We'll save that tomorrow. Uh, oh, God. The Flying Lids version was fucking bollocks as well, though, wasn't it? But he's even copying that. Uh, No, he didn't, because his granny died, and basically that was saying, "My grandson, I will not have you performing cunnilingus on Showgirls." Cunnilingus. Anyway, never mind. Look it up, Mr. Eminem. Look it up. uh, or Showgirls performing fellatio on you. Look it up. Oh, thanks, Tom. You know what? I mean, we can talk. Me and you can talk because when you're with the other three, you're a bit polite. You know, you want to get yeah. And if you're on Mr. Eminem's channel, you could be saying what you damn well please because we're not on YouTube. So we've got well, we are on YouTube, but we're not. But when you do the link, you have to switch. Once you can see your face, you've got to switch off YouTube, or you'll do what I did on that 6 hour fiasco, and your voice will come about 2 minutes later, and everyone will be all confused. It was horrible. I mean, if you watch that 6 hour video, come about hour five when I showed up, it got really messy. I'll tell you, really messy. It was a madhouse. It's a madhouse. A madhouse. Do you remember that? You remember when old what's his name? Old Charlton Heston get caught by the apes. And he's like, what is this fucking place? uh, rubbish. Rubbish. I'm trying to read all the back catalogue here, so if I've missed any questions, just tap them down there again, and I'll see them. Because to be honest, I've had a tough day. My Mavis, she's not here with me, and this is the longest time we've been away from each other for a couple of weeks. You know, because I work internationally, and I have to get on aeroplanes quite a lot, and sometimes I can't go home for the night. Quite a lot I don't have to. But don't think I'm out there like fucking other girls because I'm not. I love my wife and she means everything to me. And even if Melinda is really hot babe, I'm not going to leave my wife for you, Melinda. I'm not. I'm not. But me and you, we could have a bit of fun though. We could. But anyway, listen. Thank you, David. We posted a new episode. What's the new episode about, Tom Hungarian? Oh, by the way, Rob Walker, yeah, you totally said it, man. You've totally said it. Ringo's album is totally irrelevant, erased away. Luckily, I don't even think it's come out on vinyl, has it? I don't think anyone will. I'm surprised it hasn't even gone anything more than online. But I suppose uh, they know that there's a lot of dollar to be made from Beatles, even if, as my dad said in 1984, they fart into a jar and sell it. I mean, people are going to buy it, aren't they? Right, let's read this. Oh, well, okay. Record quake. Listen, we're going to be drinking. You can choose your own hooch, but personally, I think. Now, I had Stella yesterday, and it sent me a little bit doolally. I was thinking of stabbing to death my 78-year-old neighbour just because I don't like his beard. So that's what Stella does to you. But so I'm probably going to be drinking Gold Star on this occasion because it's a mellow brew, or even Heineken, because it doesn't send you loopy. It's not so nice though, but Red Rose, the first album I bought. Yay! Oh, hang on, Mayor. It's three different vinyl. Oh, he has. He has. Oh, yes. Actually, I do remember it's been released on vinyl. But there you go. He's basically he's just putting his hand in your pocket and taking all your money out. So it's up to you if you want to do this. But I've actually come to a point now where I've said fuck it because I had the physical thing. I never bought them. I haven't bought a CD or nothing since about 2007, and I think that was just as a present. But before, from 2003, I've downloaded my own gear because I deserve it. I've paid for this and paid for it again, and I've lined their pockets without a word of thanks. And now, the more you get to know about people and what they're trying to do and how desperate they're getting to rip you off, the more angry I get about it. Now, I do honour John and Paul and George and Ringo in their way, as part of a cultural phenomenon, which still exists to this day. It will fade. People don't seem to think it will, but already there's songs the Beatles done which are incredibly dated. I mean, check out "Misery" for example, just as one example. There's some that just sound so crappy and old these days. It's like, when I used to hear my nan playing the wartime stuff. All right, nowadays I can listen to the boom, the boom, the boom, the boom, the boom, and I can think, I appreciate that, as it must have sounded quite raunchy in its time for my nan. But when you're hearing it when you're like a 12-year-old boy and you feel, what's this crappy old shit? And that's what kids these days would be thinking. They hear "Misery" or I don't know, like, "Don't Bother Me" or something. They say, oh my God, what's this fucking shit he's listening to? And I've had that from kids in the past. I mean, even my daughter Melanie, she come round with her mate Sarah J. Gumbly, really big tits. And they want to put on this shit song, all this rap shit. And I said, no, 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 this is my place. I said, I'll put the music on. And they're sitting there getting so grumpy, like, can we go down KFC then? And I said, all right, put your fucking song on. And I listened to it and I thought, actually, I'll tell you the song. I don't know who sang it, but he said, "I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time." Da, 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 da. Now, after a couple of listens, I quite got into it. I'm not saying it's better than the Beatles or anything, but I'm just saying, no, I can understand why they was fucked off by me putting the old music on, which they called old music. I put Belinda Carlisle on, they called that old music. But it is really, I mean, we're talking 30 odd bloody years ago. Anyway, let's read some questions. Yeah, David Jackson, you're right. We don't give Ringo a fucking second thought round here. He's forgotten. He is forgotten in this country. Um, and I want to tell you something. I saw a fucking Caitlin video the other day where she was talking about she'd gone to England. Oh no, it wasn't that. It was somebody she went to see in the fucking phone repair shop or something, and she's there with a fucking XX plus size fucking George Harrison all things must pass t-shirt, and that guy says, oh, who's that then? You don't know who George Harrison is? You don't know who George Harrison? Yeah, of course he fucking don't know who George Harrison. Most people don't. I mean, if you talk to most people about, even people who say, oh, I'm a fan of the Beatles, I love the Beatles, you say, oh yeah, who's it? John, Paul, George and Ringo. Oh, do you know him? Well, I know John, I know Paul. And then even these days, people would get a little bit stuck on Ringo, but they've never really said George. Oh, George Harrison, yeah. It's got to be, special taste, isn't it? It's if you're into George, it's only because you've been fanatical about the Beatles. Nobody's actually just said George Harrison's the best. I mean, nobody said that. Nobody said I'm a George Harrison fan. Do you like the Beatles though? Never heard of them. Nobody says that. Everybody's come to the Beatles and then thought, okay, that the fun can be extended to the present day. So this is what happened to me. I just got all the Beatle records and I thought, okay, let's keep going. And of course, I had a couple. Well, like I said, my mum had Band on the Run, so of course I was into that from an early age, but I didn't know how much shit he did by that point, though. Now, yeah, but David Jackson, he doesn't write any songs. He doesn't write. That's the whole thing. It's what I've said about Madonna and all these other people and the Spice Girls. Apparently, they wrote all of their stuff, and the All Saints. They wrote all of their stuff. These people, they're too stupid to even sign their own fucking name. So how could they write a song? And I'll tell you what, you'll see other name. You'll see on the writing credits, you'll see the Spice Girls, and then you'll see Daniels, Phillips, Brown. And these Daniels, Phillips, Brown, whoever they are, or whatever name was used, they're the people that actually wrote the song. Same with Madonna, it says, I wrote this song. Oh, did you write that song? Why has it got two other people's names or one other person's name? And it's because, like I said, even Elvis was guilty of this, but Ringo definitely is doing this because every time you see He's written a song, you'll see another name next to it, unless it's absolutely appalling. I mean, you won't see Ringo start on its own and have a half decent song. And none of these songs are half decent anyway. It's just other desperate people, like poor old Pete Frampton and that, forgotten now. And you're just trying to stretch it out a little bit. Oh, well, who can I hang on to? Well, Ringo gonna sell some albums, gonna sell more albums than me, possibly. And this is what it's all about. It well, basically, let's put it this way. I've just written the most wonderful record in the whole world. I can't get it released, can I? But I'd go up to Madonna's manager and say, listen, she gets half the credits for this because 50% royalties of a sure hit's a lot better than 100% of fuck all royalties, isn't it? I mean, that's what it boils down to. The dirty little tricks they play, and you've just got to be one step ahead of what they're doing. And this is the bottom line. Brian Wilson should be a wake-up call to all of you people, and a lot of you's burying your heads in the sand about this. You don't want to admit it. Once upon a time, people were seeing these people. They were seeing young, fresh, new songs and really enjoying themselves. Now you've got old people on stage being wheeled up there, fucking getting a hoist put in them on the bloody piano and not even playing it. And then at best miming. So what's the fucking point? I had a chance to go see Ringo. My wife, maybe she was getting it all sorted out for me. And I said, be honest with you, mate. I said, forget it. I said, I don't fucking want to even waste my time going there. It's true. There's my chance to see Ringo, and I didn't want it. I just said, no, fuck it. But don't say because I'm not a fan, because I am. I've done everything a true fan would do without being a fucking fanatic. Anyway, Rob Walker, let's talk to you for a minute, my darling. John Heaton, John Heaton, let me just say about him, I'm so pissed off of his boring B-side series. It's dragging so much. He could do it in one 20-minute episode, couldn't he? Just get it through quick. Tell us what your favourite is. But he's dragging it out. It's like he did this before. He started doing this really boring series about like imaginary Beatle album, 1971, 72, 73. No, that's total crap. They wouldn't have evolved like what they did. So you can't just say, oh, I'd put Instant Karma in My Sweet Lord. It wouldn't have evolved like that. Anyway, 10 miles from me, Dad. What's only 10 miles from me, David? Oh, Salford. I was in Salford the other week. Yeah. Salford. It's the home of Morrissey. What more can you say? Yeah, you're right, Record Crate. Ringo wrote songs like Elvis did. Yeah. Hang on, David Jackson's been blocked again, so I've got, and Rob Walker's been blocked again, so I'm just unblocking them. All right, so where's the Beatles? But he's a bit over the top on the Beatles. Oh, he is. Do you know what I said to John Heaton before? I said to him, listen, I'll put this question to him. I said, what solo Beatle records do you think will be remembered in 50 years from now? He did a whole program about it, and I told him not to be a fanatic. And he still seemed to think all these irrelevant tunes were going to be remembered. They won't. Junior's Farm be forgotten years ago. When I bought Wings Greatest in 1998, I never fucking heard of Junior's Farm. I'd never heard of Hi, Hi, Hi. Do you know a lot of these records just, I mean, of course you know about Band on the Run, but even Band on the Run's going to be blurred in 50 years' time. We won't know about that. We'll know Imagine. I think that's it. We won't even hear My Sweet Lord very often because the PC Brigade will say it's sort of a religious song or something. And is it irritatingly religious song? Yeah. Because, I mean, if it was just about Jesus or God, it'd be brilliant. But it starts going Hare Krishna at the end, which ruins it. Yeah, I know, Roger Daltrey. I've heard about Roger Daltrey. But that's part of the charm of Roger Daltrey. I wouldn't go fucking see him. But hear me. Jamie. He runs. Do you know he lived up the road from me? He lives up the road from me. He runs a trout farm. Oh, Mr. Emin, I didn't know you was away. And why did you delete your live stream the other day? It was very interesting actually the other night. Not that 6 hour mental business, but you know the one you did a couple of nights afterwards. Not the one you and Record Crate was doing the night before, because God knows what was happening. I saw it and I thought, I'm not getting involved with this. I'm not getting involved. Hmm. Well, I mean, you guys go to a lot of gigs, so I mean, you must put up with the odd cancellation and stuff. But you know, this is where professionalism comes into it. To my knowledge, at least Paul is professional in the fact that he turns up. It's only because he's such a fucking narcissist, though. You know, he's the sort of bloke. My sister, for example, she was always worried that someone else was having a good time or a better time. McCartney's like that. He think if I don't turn up to that gig, then you know all the people in the world won't be talking about. Nobody's talking about you, Paul McCartney. Only the people who are freaks about you are talking about you. Everybody else has forgotten you. And I have asked people about this, and I've actually asked what records you know by Paul McCartney, and we've had varying answers. You know, even people about my age, they couldn't tell me a lot about, you know, yeah, it was the Frog song. He done that one, didn't he? And Ebony and Ivory, yeah, and they might remember Muller Kintyre, but I mean the younger ones, they ain't gonna remember nothing. I told talking to my boy, he ain't got a fucking clue. He's just talking about I don't know some shit like he said, "Oh, you remember when you bought me that Gorillaz album?" And I said, "Yeah, what do you reckon?" He goes, "Oh, it's brilliant, brilliant. I love it, I love it." But he don't know who the Beatles are. And why should you get younger people involved with people who have been, you know, mostly dead and done music a long time ago? It's a good thing to say. I like the Beatles because they are the most important band ever. Why is that, Father? I'll tell you why that. Because they were in the right place at the right time, and this will never happen again. You know, it might something might happen again in the future, but it'll never happen like it happened for the Beatles. But it just hit the mark for them. Everything went right. It's hard to believe that all started just because Brian Epstein was looking at a tight pair of leather trousers worn by the late John Lennon. But there you go. History's history. I mean, even the My Bonnie story was made up. It's all bullshit. So much bullshit around the Beatles. Most important. Are you serious? Yeah, Record Crate. Yeah, actually, I'm still a bit arsy about you because when I was showing them album covers the other day, you said Plastic Ono Band, is that the John or Yoko one? And I thought, well, what do you reckon it is? Do you think I've got any fucking Yoko Ono albums? No, mate. I like listening to music. uh, was it? I adore Yoko. Phony me. Well, that's probably why you asked then. Hey, that word phony Beatlemania. I've heard that somewhere before. Yeah, that's right. Rob Walker, you don't force your kids to listen to this stuff, do you? I mean, my sister, she got kind of used to the Beatles because she kept hearing it through my bedroom. And you know, I mean, she was the one that suffered the most and learnt the most. Also, my nosy mum, she heard a lot of my Beatles stuff as well. So they got educated, you might say, about the Beatles. But at the end of it all, did they like the Beatles any better? My mum got her own views about the Beatles. She loves stuff like Yesterday. She loves Hey Jude. She loves Let It Be. She loves Long and Winding Road. the sort of songs you'd expect her to like. The hits, not all the hits, but just some of them. Whereas my dad's the same. He liked Let It Be, Long and Winding Road. He liked Good Night, funnily enough. And the bigger songs, the bigger. But he didn't like All You Need Is Love, She Loves You, and things like that. He weren't into that. But like I said, there is something in the Beatles for everybody. But don't expect them to just want to buy every single frigging album, because they're not going to do that. So, like I said, you ask a lot of people who consider themselves Beatle fans if they can name all the Beatles, and name all the albums, and they couldn't. They'd just be telling you, "Oh, I've got the Beatles one album. Yeah, I love the Beatles," and that's all they know. And they wouldn't be able to tell you who's who. And the same. Oh, I got the blue and the red album. It doesn't mean to say they know anything more about the Beatles, but they consider themselves a big fan. Because I consider myself a fan of a lot of bands just by having their greatest hits. I haven't got any beautiful South records, but I say, oh yeah, I'm a fan of theirs. I used to be. Oh, aha, yeah, I'm a fan of theirs. I've got their greatest hits. I'm a fan of Rod Stewart. I've got his greatest hits. I ain't got any of their original albums, but I've got the greatest hits. It's all that matters to me, and I still consider I've bought that because I like the body of work they've done. Albums are very hit and miss, very hit and miss. Yeah, I mean, there's very few very good albums out there. That's why I've been a bit strict with the Beatles ratings, because even the Beatles could come up with. I mean, an album I'll give Yellow Submarine, I don't know, 1, I think, and I'll give Let It Be 3. That's appalling, isn't it? Ugh. Yeah, that's right. Buy the Red and Blue album, and you are sorted. Yeah. Really, seriously though, that's all you need. If you like the Beatles, if you're into the Beatles, all you need is love. No, all you need is the Red and the Blue album, and you're sorted. And if you think I'm curious, buy the rest. Get Pepper first, and then get help afterwards, like what I did. But it's just what it boils down to. Let's not, Half Dead Beatles just released a record, so it is the successor to Sergeant Pepper. No, it's never been the successor to Sergeant Pepper. These are 4 individual people of varying talents, and Paul's talent was tied up with John's talent, I'm afraid to say. So that's why he's fucked up so much with his albums. A lot of them don't go anywhere. I was listening to some fella, I think he called James Byers. And, he looks a bit like a paedophile, but I thought to myself, no, you're talking a bit of sense there, young man. You are. I was watching the tug of war thing. Yeah, you're right, David Jack. It is ruined by George's song. And your Blue Jay Way. I mean, that's a bad album anyway. If you call Magical Mystery Tour an album, all right, so the B-side's pretty good, but I mean, it's all singles, isn't it? But even if that was, the way that EMI Parlophone wanted to do it, there's still, it wouldn't make any sense because you've got so much shit on it. Would you be happy with Hello, Goodbye and Penny Lane, sandwiching Blue Jay Way, or Your Mother Should Know, or Flying? I mean, they're terrible songs. Even Magical Mystery Tour itself is a very iffy song. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Where's Tom gone? Where are you, Tom? I wanted to keep him on it because I wanted him to turn up. I know it'd be a bit naughty because he's got to be loyal to the Fab Four, but if we can try and just steal him for one evening, it might help our cause a little bit. Hey, Mr. Eminem, are you still there? Oh, he's still. Well, look, listen, no damage done by just telling you that, because now you've heard it from the dog's paws, or whatever they say. Yeah. Well, anyway, listen. But is Eminem still here? Eminem, are you still here? Anyway, listen. Oh, so worn out now. I've got to go and get myself a cup of coffee. So I'm going now, but Mr. Eminem might want to do a practice live stream in a few minutes. So if you all want to join Mr. Eminem, remember what I told you. Press his link, and then we could have a bit of a messy, an eating mess. We could just all talk and everything, and then get it out of the way. And then tomorrow we're going to be all serious about this business. But in the meantime, I'm going to the toilet, and I'm also going to go and get myself a nice cup of coffee. Yeah. Scratch your crater. See you later.